Well, today on CampGeeks, we're taking a peek at this, and I'm going to give you my full review. This is the Habitude 4-person tent from MSR. So let's get into it. Guys, welcome back to CampGeeks, and as you can see, well, I just got back from vacation literally today, and I'm actually on my driveway airing this guy out, getting it all dried up before I actually store it away. And I thought this was kind of a perfect time to go over it because it's in a kind of a mobile state. I have the door kind of pulled back so we can get in there real easily, and I can go over my exact thoughts of how this tent treated us on our vacation. Now, I did spend some time in a state park down in Tennessee, as well as Great Smoky Mountain National Park in this tent, using this tent with 4 people, 2 adults, myself and my wife, and my 15-year-old and 12-year-old. More than enough room in here for 4 people, even room for some gear and stuff, whether you use it on the door side or the far side, it's up to you. But it is quite a nice tent. We really loved it. And the things that make it nice to me is how the poles are designed on the actual tent. It's very pretty vertical walls. I can stand. Now I'm 5'11". I can stand up. It's definitely over 6 feet in the center. So even if you have to get changed in it, it's nice and tall. A lot of airflow through this big window here, but also on the other side there is a vent and a vent on the fly itself that you can actually prop open so you get a little bit more circulation. Now, as you can see here, currently I have the vestibule door folded back. If you actually do stake it out, it basically has 2 stakes straight out. Now, I did do a setup video on this as well before this video, so I will put links to that if you want to see exactly how everything sets up. The setup video is where you're going to want to go for it. But in the end, this is actually a really nice tent. Now, I have done several MSR tent videos, both setup and reviews. My very first tent setup video that I did was a 6-person marmot tent, the Halo 6-person tent. I like the pole design on this way better. So if you're actually looking for a 6-person, they make a 6-person version of this tent, so it's just bigger so you can get more people in it. We didn't quite need the 6-person because we only have 4, and I was trying to keep it as small as possible to fit in the trunk of the vehicle for our long vacation that we were doing. So actually having the 4-person actually worked out better than having the 6 in this case, just because it gave me more room to put more stuff in my vehicle, and we had it pretty well loaded. But that said, yeah, the pole design is the biggest difference in my opinion between the Halo from Marmot and this guy, other than 6-person versus 4. I love the clip design versus the sleeve design. It makes it a lot easier. My Marmot, I actually bent a pole. The poles are a lot bigger in that one too, but I bent it just because of the sleeve design and how it actually got hooked. I love hook designs in terms of the clips rather than the sleeves on the tent. This makes it a lot easier, so you're not going to damage your poles, or at least you're a lot less likely to. And the pole design on this, I think, is way, way better. Materials themselves, pretty lightweight. It's not an ultralight tent by any means. The other big thing is the bag that you actually go in on. If you haven't used MSR's tents before, most of the tents have a side access hole, so you can actually kind of jam everything in, then cinch it down, and then they have this kind of cover while you're cinching it down. But it works way better than having a hole in the end and you're putting everything down in, so you're fighting it to get it in. In this case, it makes it very easy. I even left the tag on the whole trip, to be honest about it, because I mean, it's just the stuff bag, right? But minimal weight on this guy's like 12 pounds, I believe. And inside height, they claim is 6 feet. It's definitely taller than 6 feet at the center, no doubt. 95 inches by 95 inches square. So if nothing else, if you're looking at doing this tent, maybe mark that out on the ground and put your sleeping pads down, and you can actually get an idea how much room you have. I think there's way more than enough room. You could get 5 people in this if you really needed to. You could definitely get 5 people in this. It would be a little cramped because you wouldn't have any room for gear other than in the vestibule area out here. But in the tent, you could put 5 people. arguably. Now, again, tight. But, let's see, 12 pounds is what they're saying for the weight. Yeah, packed weight is 12 pound, 10 ounces. Now, the other thing that it does not come with that I would highly recommend getting is the 4-person large, the Habitude footprint. So, MSR makes 2 4-person footprints. This is the large. That's for the Habitude. The other one is for the Elixir 4-person. That's the smaller one. So make sure you get the right footprint. Most national parks, things like that, are going to have that like gravel, or I should say crushed limestone pad. This is going to make your tent last a lot longer if you're putting it down on this. Now, you don't need to do this. You could do a tarp. Anything that's underneath. I do like having custom fit ground cloths. They attach better, and they're exactly the right size, and they pack up smaller. So that's me personally, but if you want to save some money, you could definitely do a tarp. But that, you know, in the end, that's the Habitude. Let's do a quick tour of the tent before we finalize. Okay, so I'm going to go in the tent. It's harder to do it with one hand than it is anything else. And as you can see, I even have a hat on, right? But 5'11", it's over 6 feet, no doubt, to the center. If you are 6 feet, I mean, obviously, even if you're taller than that, there's a lot of standing height in here, and the 6-person's even bigger. There are stow pockets kind of throughout. So here in the center section there's one down there, there's 2 down there, there's 2 down there, another one here, 2 down here. Now this big pocket's kind of designed where you could actually kind of throw this in, but there is a way to actually hold the door. Just gives you a lot of options. Also, there's a couple small ones up top. Yeah, I think it's just in the front. Yep, just in the front. And then there are points in here in the ceiling. So this is the center, very center. We actually hung a fan, on a battery operated fan from this. But you could actually do it from 5 different points. You could also do a gear loft up here using the 4 outside points. There's just a lot of options that you have for putting stuff in here. And with the pole design and how it is, a lot of structural rigidity to these points. So pretty solid in that regard. And then, like I said, lots of ground area to put your stuff. And the walls are nice and pretty much vertical. The back wall and the front wall are almost perfectly vertical. Slight indentation. And then the side walls are almost, at least for the first few feet. And then they start kind of tapering off once you get to this point. Kind of tapering in. But I love the design of this tent, and it gives you lots of ample room, even if you have a rainy day, spending some time in the tent. I did want to point out that vent, like I was talking about on the far side. It does have a little kind of stiff thing to keep it out, to let air flow through. If you are, obviously, if it's cooler and you don't need this, you can close this by sticking that guy up. And of course, I'm doing this with one hand. There we go. See how there's a nice little holder for it. And then just velcroing that down, and then you're not going to get as much airflow doing it that way. Now there are 3 guy points that are already set up with guy lines. One on all 3 sides. One on this side here. It's kind of, I think it's a little up in there because of the wind. There we go. And then one on the other side. And then the vestibule is the last piece, and I'll show you that here in a second. There is a pole bag and then a stake bag, and there are stakes in here as well. If you want to see all that stuff, definitely watch the setup video. But then I'll show you this vestibule quick. Pull this out, roll out, and the doors you can kind of see is on this far side. And you would normally just take these 2 sections right here and stake those out. So you have a pretty large vestibule actually, in terms of size. But right now I'm on concrete, so I can't really stake that out. Like I said, I'm drying it out. Now really the big thing is that would I recommend this tent after spending my vacation in this guy? Yes, this is now my go-to tent for the larger tent. Like I said, I also have a 6-person from Marmot. I like this tent a lot better. It's a lot easier to set up, to be honest about it. I can do this by myself easier, but also even for my daughter, it was really quick for her and I to kind of tag team it and just put it up real quick. So it was nice to have another person this go around to do things. Also, the airflow through the tent was better. Now, my Marmot does have 2 vestibules, one on each side, so 2 doors, one on each side. It was nice to actually focus everybody out this one door, because that's the one thing this has, is only 1 door, not 2, which does help with weight. But also focuses everybody to go out 1 door, and you're not constantly focusing on which door. Hey, did you close the door, that side or that side? And that's kind of how it is camping with kids. And it's not a downside or an upside, but it is something to focus on at least. We love this tent. It worked incredibly well. You always want more for less, you know, and what I mean by is more space for less weight, but there's always that happy medium. I also like the rainfly on this one. Has better shed. It also seems more solid than the other large tents I've used. I just love the tent. I really do. If I was spending more time in it, like during heavy rainstorms, larger is always better, because it gives you more space to move around, and that's when the 6th person would come in. And if you're definitely going with more than 4 people, definitely get the larger one. Obviously, this is rated for 4. That's what I would judge it on. But if you, in a pinch, you needed somebody to stay in, like I said, you could get a 5th one in here. So thanks for watching to the end here on this video. If you have any questions, post those below. Like, comment, subscribe, share the video if you can for me. CampGeeks.com, you can get a hold of me through there as well. But thanks for watching, and we'll have more right here on Camp Geeks. More video reviews, sleeping bags, sleeping pads. I got a lot more stuff coming. So thanks for watching, guys. See you again soon.